Have you ever caught yourself explaining your choices over and over again? Why you left that job? Why you said no? Why you are not replying to every message? You explain, you clarify, you justify, hoping people will understand. But here's the truth. You don't owe anyone an explanation for how you live your life. Today, we're diving into a powerful shift. What actually happens when you stop explaining yourself? And why that might be the best thing you ever do. Let's start with a question. Why do we feel the need to explain ourselves in the first place? For many of us, it started early. Maybe in childhood, maybe in school, maybe in that first relationship where being accepted meant being agreeable. We were taught, directly or indirectly, that being understood equals being safe. That to be loved, we had to be liked. That to be accepted, we had to be clear, always. So we started over-explaining. We gives too much detail. We justified even the smallest decision. We made sure people knew we weren't trying to upset them. It wasn't because we were weak. It was because we were human. We wanted connection. We wanted peace. We wanted to avoid judgment. But slowly, it becomes exhausting. Explaining yourself all the time is like carrying a heavy backpack filled with the weight of other people's opinions. So what's really behind this habit? Fear of judgment, fear of disappointing others, fear of being misunderstood, a desire to please, a need for validation, and sometimes a lack of confidence in our own truth. When we over-explain, we're often trying to convince people that we're good, that we're fair, that we're reasonable. But here's the truth. People who respect you don't need all those explanations. And people who don't respect you won't care how long you explain. Now, let's talk about the shift. What actually happens when you stop explaining yourself? First, it feels strange. It might even feel wrong. You'll send a short text like, "No thank you," or "I'm not available this weekend." And you'll feel this urge to follow it with an explanation. You'll want to soften the message, to fill the silence, to make sure they're not upset. But what happens if you don't? What happens if you just stop? Something powerful begins. You take back your energy. You reclaim your time. You start honoring your own voice. You become grounded in your truth without needing approval. You realize that your decisions are valid, even when no one agrees. And you learn something else. That peace often comes from what you don't say, from what you don't explain, from what you don't feel the need to justify. Here's the most surprising part. When you stop explaining yourself, not only do you feel lighter, you start to notice who respects your boundaries and who doesn't. The people who truly care about you, they won't demand a reason for everything. They won't guilt trip you into changing your mind. They won't punish your silence. They'll respect your no. They'll understand your distance. They'll allow you to choose yourself. And those who don't, they'll fall away. And that's okay. Let them. So how do you actually stop? Especially when you've spent your whole life doing it. It starts with awareness. Notice the moments when you feel the need to over-explain. When you say, "Sorry, I can't make it because I have this and this and that." Or, "I didn't reply because I was tired and overwhelmed and busy with work," and catch yourself. Pause. And then ask, do I need to say all of this? Is this for clarity or approval? Next, practice shorter responses. Start small. Say, "I can't," or "Not this time," or "I've made a different choice." No backstory, no guilt, no apology. At first, it'll feel uncomfortable. Your mind will race. What if they think I'm rude? What if they get upset? What if I lose them? But you're not here to live in fear. You're here to live in truth. And truth doesn't always come with an explanation. Another step, Let people be wrong about you. Let them misunderstand you. Let them guess. You don't have to correct every assumption. You don't have to convince them you're a good person. You don't have to prove your worth. People will believe what they want. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing. Let them wonder while you live your life in peace. Here's something else. Build boundaries and honor them. Because when you don't explain, you protect your emotional space. You stop inviting debate. You stop inviting manipulation. You stop opening the door for people to question your decisions. You create a clear signal. This is my choice. Period. No panel. No justification. No need for approval. Just clarity. And clarity is power. So what do you gain when you stop explaining yourself? You gain peace. You gain presence. You gain personal freedom. You stop being a prisoner of other people's expectations. You learn to live for you. And something magical happens. You begin to trust your intuition more. You become your own authority. You stop looking outward for permission and start looking inward for alignment. That's growth. That's strength. That's freedom. You also become more attractive, emotionally, mentally, energetically. Why? Because confidence is magnetic. Stillness is powerful. And when you no longer need to explain yourself to others, you radiate a quiet certainty. People notice. They may not see it, but they feel it. They feel your calm. They feel your truth. They feel your power. And it inspires them to do the same. So let this be your reminder. You are not required to explain your path to anyone. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to choose peace over pleasing. If someone misunderstands you, let them. If they walk away, bless them. If they don't get it, they were never meant to. You are not here to explain yourself to the world. You are here to live, love, and grow in your own way, at your own pace, in your own power. So take a deep breath. Release the need to explain and reclaim the quiet, unshakable strength of simply being yourself. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to stop explaining themselves too. Your voice matters. Your peace matters. You matter.